Hey there. Welcome to All Things Social Security. I'm Stephanie Joy. Whether you are a first-time viewer, an occasional viewer, a subscriber, or one of the three tiered benefactor members, I want to welcome you and let your video begin. Remember, if you haven't checked out the memberships, it might be something up your alley because it gives you an opportunity for a little more Social Security disability attorney attention if you need it, but don't have representation and don't want to do a full-fledged consultation. Okay, have a great one, guys. Stay tuned. Hey, guys. All right, I wanted to clarify on a SSI question. It had to do with there was a misstatement somewhere by somebody that thought that the SSI resource limit of 2,000 for single person, 3,000 for married had been raised substantially to like 6,000. And it wasn't true. The 6,000 was something else, not the SSI resource rate. So we cleared that up with a link, of course. And someone else said, well, no, you must be mistaken because I bought a car for $7,500 and I'm on SSI. Okay, guys, what you buy is not how much money you have in the bank per se. Okay, so if you go out and get a $7,500 car, that's fine. $7,500 car is a non-counted resource. It doesn't count towards your 2,000. So now, as separately an aside, you can say, well, what if they had cash and they went and bought the car? Well, that could be a problem. If you had cash in the bank, of course, SSA is probably going to find out about it because however they find out about when your bank account goes over the limit. Not sure exactly how they do that, but I've seen them do it. And if you and I don't see them babysitting people. I said, where'd you get the car? Where'd you get the money? I thought you didn't have any money because you can't have more than 2,000. A lot of people borrow money. You can borrow money and buy a car. You can use your credit card and buy a $7,500 car if you have that kind of a limit. I mean, it wouldn't be the smartest way to buy a car, but you can buy a car. You can buy a TV. You could buy a $2,500 big screen TV for your living room when you're on SSI. There's nothing, they don't monitor what you choose to have in your lifestyle, short of doing drugs perhaps. And, that might be a different story with DAA and all that. But it's not the personal items you buy, whether it's your personal computer that you use it for your little side business or just for your social or for your hobbies or to check your email or to pay your bills. They don't care. If you bought 10, it would look like you're in the business of selling, and that would be a different red flag. So you gotta recognize that these things all have different issues, but you can buying a $7,500 car or a $20,000 car for that matter is not going to ruin your SSI because a car is not counted. So when you have a car as your resource, it is not a counted resource towards the 2,000. Okay. Again, if you had $7,500 under your mattress while you were collecting SSI, that would be illegal and that would be fraud because you're not allowed to own more than $2,000 of countable resources. Don't get me started on how low that 2,000 is, and I totally agree and think it should be many times higher. But that's what it is now. So let's just stick to what's going on now. Um, Again, people borrow money from a loved one. It could be, Uncle Joe loans SSI nephew $8,000 to buy a car. He gets the $8,000. It's a loan. He buys the car and he pays his uncle back $100 a month or what have you for that car. I mean, there's many ways to skin the cat and stay within the SSI rules. Hiding money under your mattress can land you in a lot of trouble if someone rats you out because it wouldn't be legal. It would be defrauding, in fact. So be careful there, guys. And of course, always be careful what you put on YouTube or any other social media when you're talking about these things until you know what you're talking about, so you don't get yourself in a jam. Okay. All righty. Yes, you can have a car. Yes, it can be 7,500. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Hey, so if the subject matter of the video you just listened to is of interest and you want more on it, stay tuned. Here's another one about the same topic, but a little bit different. Bye now. Good morning. Um, let's go over, this is for folks that are on SSI or are seeking SSI, disabled, or aged, but by and large, we're often talking about people under 65 that are seeking SSI due to disability and lack of finances. So the alternative is aged over 65, 65 and older, and lack of finances. Okay, so it recently came up an individual who, as a favor to a friend, allowed the friend to put him, the SSI beneficiary, on a bank account. It was to help the friend pay bills while he was unwell. So forgetting the individual forgot the SSI rules that resources, things titled in your name, will be countable if they're countable resources, and bank accounts obviously are. So perhaps he never reported it, didn't know he should, wasn't keeping up with, not that the rules changed, but a lot of people don't read the pamphlets that they're supposed to read and don't do their due diligence. So it's an innocent mistake, but one that you really are held accountable for. So now the person, 2 years later, the SSA, with all of its many ways and fingers in lots of different pots, learns of the bank account that the person is titled to. Again, in equity, the person doesn't actually, in reality, ethically own any of the money. His name is just on it in case the person needs the help in paying bills and whatever, or passes away. And it was to facilitate that. It's not like he could go and spend it as he wished. Technically, he had the power to, but then it would probably be a big old lawsuit because the agreement was, this is not your money, you're just on the account, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So SSA, of course, doesn't know that, finds the account, cuts him off, says there's an overpayment of 2 years worth of SSI, because each and every month that he had that money in his name, the presumption is that he was over, when you counted the money, it was over the $2,000 SSI resource limit. So this has caused havoc for this person. I mean, homelessness and everything else, because now they are, I'm not sure the amount being withheld to pay it back. It might be that he's half of his SSI is, I can't even talk. Half of his SSI is going towards paying off the debt, and it's going to take like 10 years, something to that effect. I want to show you this. I'm going to share this page. This is a POMS SI 01140.205 joint checking and savings accounts. So if you take a look, and just give me a second, I'm going to share it. I'm a little slow doing this stuff. Gotta find the right one. And I think it's this one. All right, let's give this a shot. Okay. Do you see that? I hope. I hope it's being shared to you. So when you scroll down, they talk about account holders and procedure for documenting co-account accounts, blah, 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 blah. You'll see down here, D, section D. You'll need to look at this if you find yourself in this jam. There is an assumption that you as a titled owner own it, and that there was no, caveats between the two of you, the two joint account holders. They have to tell you of your right to provide evidence rebutting the ownership assumption. The ownership assumption arose because your name is titled on the account. Very logical assumption. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But if you have evidence showing that that's not the case, that evidence could be you guys had a written agreement that you were going to be on it just for the purpose of paying his bills if something happened. It could be maybe it was all verbal, like close friends and family do for one another. Get that person who hopefully is still living to prepare a statement that can be certified under oath, so to speak, on a form such as an SSA-795. You need to do this where, he's saying it, you're saying it, so you have some evidence besides you just saying it, that money was not yours. You were on the account for a particular purpose. And they go down about the rebuttal statement, where you're rebutting the assumption. And you can go down and it says who owns the funds, why there was a joint account. I mean, oftentimes there's a really good reason: who made deposits to and withdrawals from the account, and how the claimant, the recipient, or the deemer spent the withdrawals. Very important too, if you were paying bills with that money while it wasn't yours, ethically speaking, show the receipts. Where did you spend it? If you were paying his bills, show those bills, show that it was spent. And ironically, here they go down to talk about the SSA 795. That's what I use a lot. They have a specific form, SSA-2574. You can find all of these online at the SSA.gov site, or doing a Google search or a DuckDuckGo search. All sorts of things you can do to rebut that. They go into the required evidence, go on down. And again, you want to get backup stuff beyond just your own statement and that of the other person. Deposits, withdrawals, where the money came from. So, presumably no check written to you went into that account because you don't have income, right? So the deposits are going to presumably be from something from him to him. Maybe it was his Social Security that was going to that account. Maybe he's a wealthy dude, maybe he has investments going into that account. Whatever the case, showing that it was all his, and that withdrawals were going to him or to his bills. It's all kind of common sense, but they lay out here details so that if the common sense doesn't click into your head, because again, it is a foreign area to you probably, read this. It can help you. A joint bank account was not a good idea, but sometimes, they understand. Lay people, we're not thinking about those things when we're trying to help a loved one, right? And this is where you can correct the situation. I hope this helps. I feel like it's too late for some people, but it might not be. So give it a shout out and see if you can change your overpayment, if this was the reason why you had the overpayment. All right. I'm going to close off this page, I think. And anyway, I hope this helps you all. If I find any additionals that I can share about some of the reasons why you have an overpayment and how you can, if the facts fit, correct it, I'll definitely share. All right.